or where you're at and hop into the Word. All right, so let's go ahead and let's start our timer here. And let's go. Here we go. We're in Mark chapter 2, and we begin in verse 13. And he went out again by the seashore, and all the people were coming to him, and he was teaching them. And as he passed by, he saw Levi, the son of Alphaeus, sitting in the tax booth. And he said to him, "Follow me." And he got up and followed him. And it happened that he was reclining at the table in his house, and many tax collectors and sinners were dining with Jesus and his disciples, for there were many of them, and they were following him. And when the scribes of the Pharisees saw that he was eating with the sinners and tax collectors, they said to his disciples, "Why is he eating and drinking with tax collectors and sinners?" After hearing this, Jesus said to them, "It is not those who are healthy who need a physician, but those who are sick. I did not come to call the righteous, but sinners." Okay, so here we go. Just that first question, what in there sticks out to you? What is there in this text that you weren't prepared for? Something that maybe seems out of place. Now, I know in this version right here, you can see it's got this break where Levi or Matthew is called. You know what? I know they put headings in things to kind of smooth things out, but sometimes they put them in the middle of a paragraph, and that's not helpful. So if that's where it is for you, just don't worry about it. Just keep reading straight through. And what we see is Levi or Matthew here is called a tax collector. Now, it's around April 15th. We all know what that is. That's tax day, and nobody is happy on that day. Well, I mean, I don't think even the people who collect taxes are happy on that day because they know they're some of the most despised people in all of America on that day. But it's especially so back here in the ancient days because these guys, think about it this way, it would be like some foreign government taking over your place and then getting your own people to collect the taxes for them. That's basically what we have. And so they were looked down upon, they were despised. People did not like these guys. And so what happens is he calls this tax collector, not the guy you're going to think about is going to be a great apostle or a disciple here, but he calls him, and look what happens. He follows. And he holds a banquet, and at this banquet are not the who's who of the religious circles, but those infamous people, those people that nobody really wants to be associated with. He says they're tax collectors, other of these outcasts, these kind of those people, and sinners. And so when he says sinners here, he's talking about they have a very set kind of understanding of who this would be. These people, we definitely don't. Church people don't associate with these people. That's kind of where we're at here in this kind of religious kind of atmosphere. But look what Jesus responds to him. He said, "It's not the healthy who need a physician." Well, he's talking about, we're going to see, but it's the sick, right? You don't call a doctor if you're feeling well, right? You call a doctor if you're not feeling well. He says, "I didn't come to call the righteous," that's the healthy, "but sinners." And so Jesus is telling us he's coming to call those people. Now, what does this tell us? Three questions. What's this tell us about God? Well, one, it tells us that Jesus' mission is to bring those people who are far from God to God, right? Those people who are far off, that society casts out because they're the wrong kind of people. He says, "I care about them. I've come to call them." And we'll talk about what that means, but that's going to be a calling them to repentance and to fellowship with God. There. So what does that tell us about us? That's a great question. And I think we can say we're probably, if we're not careful, we're a lot like the Pharisees here. Oh, it's those people. Oh, he's eating with those people. That's a problem. We have that same heart tendency if we're not careful. We will sit back and look condescendingly down our nose at those people who don't match our idea of what they should be. And so that tells us a lot about God. It tells us about ourselves. And the question we got to ask is, what are we going to do about it? What is God calling us to do? Well, I think the thing we have to all admit is God's calling us to check our hearts. Are we those kind of people? Because if we are, we've got to change. That's not right. That's not where we want to be. That's not where God is calling us to be. He's calling us to be like Jesus, to go to those people and call them to a relationship with God, and not to be condescending in it. All right, well, my time is up. Thanks so much. Just want to let you know, I'll still be here. Life's a little crazy for me. I know it's for you as well, but let you know I'm praying for you. And so I will see you back here tomorrow at noon. See you then.